Okay, today is March 23rd, 2023, and this week there were 68 reported cases of COVID-19 in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg County, which shows a 39% decrease over the 2 last weeks. Therefore, each subject is comfortable to wear a mask or not. So, I would like to introduce our interviewee.
My name is Theresa Nguyen, but I go by Reese. What was the next thing?
Please state your physical image.
Okay. I have, medium black hair, Vietnamese origin. Currently wearing a green oversized crew neck and a mask.
And what are your pronouns?
My pronouns are she, they.
Thank you.
Subject to change.
I was wondering, where are you from and what are you studying?
I am from Pinehurst, North Carolina, about 2 hours outside of Charlotte. I'm currently studying mathematics and studio art at Queen's University.
Thank you. You mentioned being Vietnamese. I was wondering what it's like being Vietnamese, and do you have any favorite memories or holidays, food, etc.?
Yeah, so both my parents immigrated from Vietnam. Both me and my sister were born in the U.S. in North Carolina. And I have always had an appreciation for Tết, the Vietnamese Lunar New Year, and it's always a big celebration. My parents always made bánh trưng at home and with family, friends, and stuff like that. So it's always a big kind of get together just to make the food and as well to enjoy it.
You mentioned you're Queens.
I am at Queens.
What was that decision like, and why did you choose Queens?
The decision was, I was initially attracted to the Thrive program at Queens because it was just a way for me to have extra support. I'm also a first generation college student, with my sister. And I knew that if I had an extra week or so just to adjust was kind of attractive for me to come to Queens. Also their kind of diversity and inclusion kind of, the initiative, was something that seemed better for me. I also really liked the location of the school since it's kind of outside of the busier parts of Charlotte, which was kind of nice.
Thank you. So it's been a couple years since the pandemic. What was your experience like in that first year of 2020? How was it like during lockdown? Were you on campus? Did you go home? What was it like?
So the lockdown happened my freshman year of college, so spring of my freshman year. And at first it was kind of just a weird reversion back to my high school stuff. I did go home and I was just doing work from my childhood bedroom. So a lot of it just felt like I wasn't getting that growth that I was expecting from a college experience. So I was just back in my high school room. It's I never left. And that was very interesting and kind of just odd to feel that that self again after a semester or so away from home.
What did you do during that time to keep yourself busy?
Well, I guess I still had school for the rest of the semester, so I was kind of really focused on doing that. During the main lockdown period where everyone was at home, I would help my family cook food a lot. We would spend a lot more time together. I also kind of got more into my art and trying to post it on social media. It didn't go very far, but it was an attempt. I'm trying to think of other things that I was doing. That was kind of mostly it. Kind of stayed at home, stayed inside.
Well, you mentioned family relationships getting closer. Was that different when it came to friends?
Yeah, it kind of was. It was kind of actually harder for me to keep my friendships, just because it was harder for me to keep that like virtual relationship with them because I couldn't physically see them. So there's a lot more strain on my friendships that weren't with family.
Thank you. Let's see. I was wondering, since you are Vietnamese, was there any hardships on being Vietnamese during this time of COVID-19?
I personally, well, a lot of the things with the news affected me too, just because it was just bad, and that was kind of a toll on my mental health. I personally did not get any type of negative reaction from other people, but my parents did, and they would tell me about it after they got home from like work after the initial lockdown was over. So that was fun. Very, kind of just felt bad about it, and I couldn't do anything to help them, nor could I just like explain to other people about it. It was just so far away, yet it impacted me so closely.
And what was that process like transitioning over time as restrictions and recommendations have come and gone?
Honestly, I just try to keep up to date as possible, just to know like what would be the safest practice for me and my family. It wasn't particularly hard to just follow what I was told, but also just sometimes just thinking about it, it was like, what is the best practice besides what I'm being told?
What do you think the future will look like for you or the pandemic?
Honestly don't know. It's just kind of, it was always going to be here for the most part. So at least in a way that, or at least right now, it's been kind of more or less back to normal, where people are not as like, I guess like mask focused unless they're sick or unless like they have other reasons. And I feel like people have become more understanding of that. But I feel like some of the negative like characteristics that came out of the initial pandemic has still kind of presented itself, and it's still just kind of there.
Thank you. Before this interview, we did this hand activity.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you'd like to share about it? Or like to show us?
I guess I could show you. Yeah, like make sure everything. So like, one of the fingers were like things I defined myself as, or like characteristics, and then different journeys. Most of them are actually kind of surrounding that kind of pandemic situation. So, yeah.
One last thing before we go, would you like to insert your art in here?
Insert my art?
Yeah.
I don't have anything. So I'm gonna go.
Where can people find you?
Find me on Instagram. I have an art account. It is called. We'll see actually. We'll go to my art account.
What
it is
art do you work with?
The art account is I'm.Reese_kinda. And I do painting, ceramics, and woodblock printmaking. I just dabble in all of those, whatever I can get my hands on, honestly.
Thank you for bringing your time to allow this interview.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you have a great day.
Thanks.